fishing for crappie again, and so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan the pylons and look and see how many fish are on each pylon. So I'll scan the pylon, I'll see where the fish are located, and sometimes they're in the middle, sometimes they're next to the pylon. There's a support that's under the water, and sometimes they're on top of it and sometimes they're under it. So what I'm going to do is I scan the pylon first, then I turn around and I come back and I fish the pylon based on where the fish are. And what this does is, you have a limited time on the water, and you want to make best use of all the time you have on the water. So you want to scan the pylons and then fish it, and then once if the fish stop biting, you can scan the pylon again to see how many fish are still there, or maybe you pull a fish out of that school and it spooked the rest of them and they're not going to bite. But you can, when they slow down, you can scan it again. But typically what I do is I don't scan it again. I just go ahead and move on to the next pylon, and just look for more either heavy schools of fish or bigger fish, because like I say, you want to make the best use of your time on the water. And if you just fish pylons, go from one pylon to another and fish it, then the chances are you're going to waste a lot of time, because especially on these big bridges like this, every single pylon does not have fish on it. There's some, when you scan it, it has absolutely no fish under it, around it, near it, no bait, no nothing. And it's just an empty pylon. For some reason, nothing is there. And if you don't have electronics on your boat and you're not scanning it, then you can waste a lot of time just sitting there fishing it. And then the other thing is you pull up to a pylon and you fish it, and you don't scan it, and you catch 2 or 3 fish, and you spend a lot of time sitting there waiting, thinking that you're going to catch more fish, or just waiting on the fish to bite. And there may not be any fish there. You may already caught all the fish. So you got to use the electronics and scan. And the big thing about this kind of fishing is scanning and fishing it and then moving on. And if you're looking for numbers, quantity of fish, you just want to catch, close to your limit, then you scan it and you move on, and you fish it, and you don't just sit in one spot. If you're in a bigger boat, I know it's tough to do to fish and tie up and get set up and move. But the best thing is not to tie up. Troll, scan, turn around, come back and fish where the fish are, and then keep moving. And you'll catch more fish in less amount of time than you would if you just tied up to a pylon and then fish it. I know some of the guys that fish this particular bridge, they have favorite pylons they like to fish, and they like to sit on them. Or you see these pylons where somebody's marked so they can come back to it, Yes, some of these pylons attract fish based on the water depth, and they always have fish on them. But if somebody's come and fish it before you, then they're going to either get all the keepers out of it, or they're going to get all the fish, one of the two. And then you show up a little bit after they just left that pylon, and you tie up to it, and you got absolutely nothing there to fish for. So best thing to do is scan, fish it, and then move on to the next pylon. And a big bridge like this, it's a lot of pylons. And if you're fishing it during the week, you pretty much have almost every pylon to the fish in a short period of time. If you're fishing for 2 or 3 hours, in that period of time, you can pretty much close to catching your limit, because a lot of these bridges, the shade that it provides the fish are just, the bigger fish are hanging around it, so you can catch, nice fish and in quantities. Life is good when you're getting bent, so go out there and get bent.